I'm going to be the first ethnic minority president
What?
of that organization.
You know, I've been to Cuba.
Right.
No one will steal anything. So
Yeah.
it's like the safest place you've ever been and the poorest place you've ever been. It's great.
My grandfather owned grocery stores there. When Fidel Castro took over, he came in, he took the stores, sent my grandfather to the sugarcane fields to work.
Gee.
They won a lottery to get out of Cuba. They left with nothing more than the shirts on their backs.
You joked about being like the minority, look like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be a hard fight there.
Especially the Hispanic population in Indiana, they're so underrepresented, and there's so many people that frankly take advantage of them. And so, you know, trying to help as many people as I possibly can, that's really the goal.
How does it work with jury selection and trials and admissibility of somebody's ethnicity or national origin?
As far as the admissibility of their ethnicity or national origin,
Welcome to this episode of Bourbon of Proof, where we interview those who have been both successful at law and life. And we do so over usually some pretty high proof brown liquors. And we're very, very honored to have today as a special guest from Indiana, a very big bourbon whiskey head who we text a lot about, although we've never met in person until today, Alex Limontes.
thank you. Thanks for being here, guys.
And of course, our famous co-host, Mauro Fiore Jr., the one and
Hello,
only.
hello, hello, hello.
There is another Mauro Fiore, but that's part of his episode, we've really uncovered. But yeah, we're excited to have you on the show today.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate being here. I'm a big fan of the show, so I'm very honored to be here with you guys.
So we met because Alex was watching the show and had messaged the platform, and we started talking.
Yeah.
And I realized this guy's not only a bourbon head, but this guy's the most famous lawyer in Indiana. I mean, they're really like president of the bars, like leadership on everything.
Yeah, I do a lot of work with the Bar Association, do a lot of work with Indiana Trial Lawyers Association. It's a 10-year commitment to be on the executive committee for the Trial Lawyers Association.
A decade of non-dominance.
Yes. And I'm going to be the first ethnic minority president of that organization. Yeah. And I'm about as white as they come. I'm just a big, tall, white Cuban guy, you know.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
a Cubano?
Yeah, I'm Cubano.
I like
Yeah.
Cubano sandwiches. By the way, we have a whiskey sommelier. We have Travis Davis here. We're filming in Arizona at Walter Studios, and we have at the AZ attorney, Travis Davis. What are we drinking first? We got to kick it off with a spirit.
All right, we got a special one here. This is Alex's personal collection, I understand. This is Booker's from 2018, 128 proof, 6 years aged. From Jim
Did you
Beam.
say 128 proof?
You know it. So this is from Jim Beam. This is their special quarterly release for a year, and they're all different, usually
Every year.
delicious. So.
Thanks. So
I
Alex,
mean, my math might be wrong, but that's like 65% alcohol?
Yeah, 64.7, I think it says on it.
Jesus. All right, well, unveil this one.
Definitely
So
no
the
Jim
Bookers, you
Beam.
got to pull up the screen and pull it out. Every year or so, like I actually go out and hunt a new. I have not had the 2018, but I like to hunt the new one every year.
Holy Jesus. 64.4%.
You better do the sign
Yeah.
of the cross before you drink this one, Mauro.
Yeah, especially, this isn't our first episode today.
Right. Thank you.
Mauro still does the sign of the cross at church, and it boils.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
no,
uncut and unfiltered. I still don't know what the hell that means.
I'm uncut myself, but
Yeah.
that's another episode.
That was actually on the last episode too. We talked about
Well,
it.
it's
Let
a
me pull this
recurring
here.
topic.
Right.
So this is the 2018. Wow, yeah, 64.4%.
Smells.
No, but this is. I don't think you'll taste it, Mauro.
I was a little drowsy.
What's
but
your
it woke
cheers,
me
by
up.
the way? We should ask every guest this. Like when you do a cheers, what do you say? What's your thing?
You know, I usually go with the good old-fashioned salud. You know,
Salud.
salud.
We do street lawyers to street lawyers and street justice.
Well, I
you
usually
go.
say up your butt, Joe Boo.
Major League, great reference.
That's it.
That's fantastic.
It's good.
See that you don't taste. This is 64% alcohol. You don't taste it. This is good.
Yeah.
It's hot,
Smooth.
but it's good.
It's very hot. You know, so that's distilled by Jim Beam, right?
Yeah.
And you called me a bourbon head. I've not always been a bourbon head. I actually had a really bad experience with bourbon in college with Jim Beam.
Oh, I was going to say, you
And-
must have been drinking Old Crow.
Yeah, And I stopped drinking bourbon for 15 years.
Wow.
I didn't drink. I haven't drank bourbon. I think the last 10 years is really when I've gotten back into it. And so it was. I thought on an episode you talked about, in a frat experience where you had to drink a certain amount in a certain period of time, and I had the opportunity to do that when I was 18, and that was the first time coming from Florida. That was the first time I ever drank whiskey or bourbon, and I didn't touch it for 15 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, and so every time I see, that's a 2018. It's been sitting in my bar for 6 years. Every time I see Beam or a Beam product, I'm like.
Yeah, but that Beam was in a plastic bottle.
Right,
with
it was. It's very different.
Oh, this
Very
is
different.
fantastic.
Yeah, so.
This is the Booker's. Yeah, so I mean, you say tall white guy, but you're, Hispanic, Cubano, right?
Y hablo
Florida.
español también.
Sí, por supuesto.
Yeah.
But how did you end up in Indiana?
I was recruited to play football at Hanover College.
There we go.
Yeah, so football's a big part of my life. I played football for 15 years of my life.
You O-tackle? What's your?
In high school, I was a center and a defensive tackle. In college, I was a defensive tackle.
Really?
Freshman year, I blew out my knee. I blew out my MCL and ACL. And tried to come back after that, and I will say I favored it. Never had an injury like that. And then did it for a couple more years, and then decided to hang up the cleats my senior year in college. I just couldn't play the same. Hanover College, Division III, 1,100 kids, 110 of us were on the football team. Wow. 10% of the school, yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar injury when I was probably 40 years old snowboarding.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'd love to see you on a snowboard.
This guy's a weird athlete. Like, you wouldn't see it, and it blows your mind. I've seen this guy shoot under par playing golf, and it just.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's unbelievable. I've seen him. I have seen this guy. We used to play in a fast pitch baseball league in LA. And these guys, they
throw 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, and there was one dude would touch 90, but everyone usually get guys with 70, 80s with junk, right? And there was this one guy, he was this lefty, and for some reason Mara was so in his head. He would come up and
couldn't get me out ever.
this guy would throw 2 pitches, he wouldn't even see it, he'd be swinging, he'd be in the ground, and then he would hit one and just line drive right, left, center every time. They'd have meetings at the mound. Like, what are we going to do with this guy? Are we going to walk him?
And then they would be like, "What? Hold him on first. He's got wheels."
I remember
they were shocked by my athleticism.
That's true.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it was funny. But
we did bring him into pitch with a 16-run lead, and we ended up losing the game.
No, we didn't lose.
Wow.
They made like 14 errors. I could have got out of the fucking inning.
Right.
If these guys would have got one shitty out. But
what was the team name?
Los Guapos de los Estados Unidos.
But no, I had that snowboard injury. I had surgery. It's fine. It's 100%.
Good.
But you're never the same.
No.
And you know what you're like you're saying. You just always have that fear that you favor it. It's I really could never snowboard again. I just have that feeling that it's going to happen. And even though it's fine, that's probably the only thing I've ever had to quit. I can still play golf. I can play baseball. I can play any sport, but I can't snowboard, and I still favor that knee.
Do you do anything else, skiing or anything?
No, I tried to ski. You know what? Southern California is weird because, people who, I'm born and raised in Southern California, everybody in LA, you surf, you skate, and you snowboard when you're a kid. Nobody skis. Everybody snowboards because we don't have great ski resorts in Los Angeles, but people wouldn't be shocked to know that you can go from Bob's house in Manhattan Beach on the sand, and in an hour and 15 minutes you can be snowboarding in Mount Baldy, which is 40 miles away. So, but they're shitty ski resorts. I mean, it's not Park City, but I mean, you can go snowboard in an hour from the beach if you want. So everybody snowboards. No one ever grows up skiing in LA. You grow up snowboarding. So I've never skied in my life.
What about surfing? You surf?
I surfed a few times. I'm not a great swimmer. Not a great swimmer, but I've
He's very buoyant.
I'm not a great swimmer, but I've longboarded before out in Malibu and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's easy. With a longboard, it's easy.
It is.
Goddamn things like surfing on a Cadillac.
I'm calling bullshit on this
Yeah,
one.
well, let's go. Anytime
I
we
want
want.
to see
Surfing
you.
on
We
a
can go
Cadillac.
with Craig Silver. Craig Silver's a surf instructor.
Really?
You know
I
Craig
can
Silver?
see Craig Silver. He's a mediator. I can
He's a
see him being
mediator in
surfer.
LA, and he's a surf instructor.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of body surfing in Manhattan Beach because I'm also very buoyant, and I like to impress kids by washing up on shore like a whale and like shake my hair like, whoa, you rode that wave all the way in.
That's
that I
fun.
did without a board. By the way, can we get our whiskey sommelier, because we're going to do a lot of pours for Alex, because you deserve it, my friend. You
Alex,
came in
have
from
you, have you
Indiana.
ever, you said you're Cuban. Have you ever been to Cuba?
No. I'd love to go. You know, my mom left. Actually, it's my mom's birthday today.
Really?
She's 66. Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah. So she's out in Wyoming right now, but on a trip. But yeah, she left and she's never been back.
Really?
So, but they had a really tough experience having to get out. My family, my grandfather owned grocery stores there. When Fidel Castro took over, he came in, he took the stores, and he said, "This is government property now." Sent my grandfather to the sugarcane fields to work.
Jeez.
He would be there 5 days a
Kanye.
week. Yeah, working at the sugarcane fields. Come home on the weekends, and you know, they won a lottery to get out of Cuba. But when you leave Cuba like that, you're essentially marked, you know, as a traitor, you know, and so they really did everything they could to embarrass my family on the way out, and they left with nothing more than the shirts on their backs, you know.
Now you take care of your folks?
Yeah, as much as I can.
Love
you
it.
know. They
My
don't
mom's
really
66 as well, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
So, Travis, what do we got here? Because
All right, here we go. This is
This is going to bring back your frat days.
Oh my.
there you go. Speaking of cheap whiskeys. All right, so Alex, I heard you like high corn.
I
So
do, yeah.
what better than mellow corn? This is like 90% corn. It's like $11, but you know what? Honestly, it's cheap, but it's good.
Like
And there's got to
beans.
be some message there. I don't know. But
Well, it says bottled and bond.
it's bottled
on
and
there, so it
bond,
can't
which
be too
means
bad.
it's under government supervision. Only the master distiller and a government agent have a key to the rick house. And it's Heaven Hill product, which is highly regarded.
And it has to
as
be aged
maybe
4
one of
years
the
to be
best.
bottled and bond, so it can't be
does.
that. Can't be that
There's
much.
no
mileage.
cork, though,
It's
so we'll
almost
see.
like moonshine, but
I
not
enjoy it.
exactly.
wow, thank you, whiskey
Do
sommelier.
you know what famous distiller was kind of really pushed that Bottled and Bond Act through back in the late 1890s?
I think it must have been Woodford Reserve, a brown.
That was the Colonel, Edmund Haynes Taylor.
really?
Yeah, and Grover
Colonel
Cleveland
E.H.
signed
Taylor?
it into. Yeah, E.H. Taylor. He was one of
Oh my God.
I love
the
E.H. Taylor.
architects. Yeah, of the
Some of
Bottled
those
and Bond
E.H.
Act.
Taylor bottles can cost thousands of dollars.
Whoever does the marketing for Bello Corn, you might want to do a better job. This looks like a John Deere product,
right.
maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's try a
this
little
one.
mellow corn. What the hell?
Cheers.
And that's smooth for $11.
Yeah, it sure is.
It
Yeah.
really is smooth.
Wow, I am
Because it's corn.
very
It's
surprised.
it's 90% corn, so it's smooth. Damn, it's good.
Good for mellow corn.
Yeah, you're right about the market.
You know, I've been to Cuba.
You
I've
have?
been to Havana under Fidel. I was there during the Fidel regime, and it was a weird place.
Right.
You never really seen poverty like that. I mean, these people are fucking poor, but they're
Yeah.
happy.
And they're proud.
They're proud to be
Right.
Cuban.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just remember before I went, like they sent us an email with, I went under the Fidel regime, they had these like cultural exchange kind of trips you could go. And I went with a band that was going to play with a Cuban.
The old 97s
Yeah.
you went down there.
So I went
remember,
down
yeah.
there with my friend's band, and I was like the glorified roadie or whatever bullshit. I just wanted to go to Cuba.
Yeah.
So they went down there and played a bunch of shows around Cuba with Cuban bands. And so I got to see it during the Fidel Castro era, and it was like, it was weird place.
God.
People were super poor. I know they sent us an email before we went, and they're like, you know, if you're gonna come, you know, if you like snacks, whatever, bring your own snacks and bring your own whatever, because like, it's not that easy to find. And I'm like, how hard can it be? I'm sure they gotta have an AM PM over there or something. Go over there, man. There wasn't a fucking there wasn't a cracker to eat in the whole country. It's like these people have they have no food,
yeah.
nothing. They have nothing.
Yeah.
I left there with only the clothes on my back. I gave away all my shit when I was there. I was like, this guy's. If I give this guy a T-shirt, he might pass out. You know?
Right.
I gave him my old shit. You know,
Right.
I just left there with what I was wearing.
Yeah.
I gave away my toiletries, gave away my perfume. These people had never seen anything. This is the poorest place you've ever seen in your life.
Yep.
And they're honest people. I remember our tour guide was like, you could leave your wallet right here on the street corner with $10,000 in it. No one will touch it. And he says, you know why? He says, they catch someone stealing here,
all
they'll cut their hand. Fidel have his hands cut
Right.
off.
Right.
No one will steal anything. So
Yeah.
it's like the safest place you've ever been
Yep.
and the poorest place you've ever been. It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, my great aunt, I remember she came to visit, and she lives here now. She came to visit, she's a math professor, very educated, smart woman. She made $10 a month as a math professor. never owned a computer in her life. And I had just graduated from law school, and I had this old beat up compact computer. And I came home from law school, and she was there visiting with my mom. And I was like,
This is in Florida.
This is in Florida, yeah. She came over to visit. She went back to Cuba, and she was telling my mom about how difficult it is for her to teach. She teaches out of her house at a community college, essentially. And I just said, like you did, give him the shirt off your back. Like I just handed her my computer. And I was like, take this back with you. And she was so grateful. First computer she's ever owned.
Wow.
You know, this was back in like '08, man, you know?
So, man, you
Yeah.
come from that to now
Yeah.
running Indiana.
Running Indiana.
No, but I mean, Alex, you take like the really hard cases. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
always say you're a glutton for punishment. You guys do a lot of good for a lot of people, but you're taking sometimes harder product liability, high exposure, high damages cases, and figuring it out. You're pouring more of the John Deere
Yeah,
corn. It was good.
I like the mellow corn.
No, wait, call it whiskey sommelier.
Okay.
Don't taint your palate. We have a lot to get through on this episode.
sorry.
A lot to unpack, as they say.
100 proof.
All right.
Mark,
Back to
you put that
the
one
fancy bottle. Here we go.
There we go.
So Michter's actually was my introduction into whiskey. Really enjoying it, like different brands, palettes, all that. It was the straight rye. We actually had it at one of our retreats years ago. And anyway, this is the rye, but it's at barrel strength. So what is it? 109 proof, and it's a toasted finish. So they finish it in a not charred barrel, but they actually toast it lightly and longer, and it tastes like marshmallows. It's
This
really
is.
good.
Now you're
nice.
talking.
Have you had this one, Alex?
Not the toasted.
So the toasted, this is probably surely top 10, maybe top 5, my favorite whiskeys. This is one that if you have on hand, it's a special occasion pour. This is usually a Christmas pour for us.
Oh, there you go. You know it's good when it's on Christmas,
this
right?
is.
Bob and I visited the Michter's Distillery
yeah.
in Kentucky. Have you ever opened the bottle that we did?
I never did. We poured our own. You could pour your own bottle at the
Oh,
Michter's.
nice.
Yeah, and they let you bottle
Where in
your
Kentucky
own.
is it?
It was right on Main
Louisville.
Street in Louisville.
Oh, yeah.
And we
You got
went
to get
the
lucky
Michter's.
with the. Here, put that, Maura, put that here so we can see. Yeah. But you have to get lucky because sometimes they don't have any of these.
Yeah.
I've gone there and you can't find it, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you guys like it because this is one of my all-time favorites. So.
Cheers.
Cheers, gents. Oh my God, that's so smooth. Jesus.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. You said Louisville. You know how they
Louisville.
say it there.
Louisville.
Louisville. Had a lot of buddies from Louisville that
Louisville.
they always fix that.
Oh, man,
They always
that's
told
good.
me, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like how long you've been practicing? What's the focus? Give us
Sure.
Give us the.
I've
give us
been-
the 3-minute story.
The 3-minute story. 17 years I've been practicing. Right now I just do personal injury work. I've got a team under me. They just do a lot of the day-to-day stuff, and then I'll step in. We got a trial or a big deposition or mediation or something, I've dwindled down my cases, now that I'm the owner of the firm and managing. So, but I actually started as a public defender, which was, I tried more cases as a PD than I have as a personal injury lawyer.
I know several PDs that
Yeah.
have been.
But
loved
I mean, you come to Indiana. I mean, you joked about being like the minority. You look like
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be a hard fight there because the laws. Because we do a lot of research with with Just HQ and Attorney Share. I know demographics. We know different places. Indiana's a hard place for the Hispanic
red
community because
state.
that's a lot of people that we represent.
My mom was born and raised in Indiana, but she was in the East Chicago, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. My grandfather came. They recruited in the 40s Latinos, Mexicans to come to Indiana to work in the steel mills because of the World War II.
Yep.
So my grandfather came to work in a steel mill in Indiana, and my mom was born in the United States. She was very proud to be American, even though her parents barely even spoke English. They were Mexican, because my grandfather ended up working 46 years at Inland Steel in Gary, Indiana.
Don't you own property now? Either
I
Gary
owned
or
a bunch
Ohio
of
or something.
I owned a
Chris.
bunch of stuff my grandfather bought in Ohio,
Okay.
in Youngstown. Great place to
yeah.
invest, because he was part of the steel industry, and So he bought some apartment complexes in Youngstown, and when he died, I inherited them, and
Yeah.
I literally donated them to a charity because they were the worst. I mean, have you ever been to Youngstown, Ohio?
No, I've driven through it,
Yeah,
but never
it's
been there.
Like
Yeah.
unrentable, unsellable,
Right.
and just the place is a ghost town. It's
Yeah.
literally there's nobody there. It's
Yeah.
done. It's the Rust Belt they call it. Right.
Right.
It's just that part of the country's done.
But where your mom is from, Lake County, talking about PI cases, that's probably the highest verdict county in the state of Indiana, next to where
Well, it's probably
I
the
live
only
in Marion
minority county, right?
Yeah. So, and in Marion, there's a big minority population, but I mean, we just had a case with a Mexican gentleman, and we were trying it up in Hamilton County, getting ready to try it, and at the mediation, the first thing they say is, "Well, you know what you got? You got a Mexican client up in Hamilton County, And so when I hear that, I'm like, "Fuck you! Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Let's go." Let's go, guys. If you think if that's your best defense, that these, this red county, these conservatives aren't going to give this guy a lot of money because he's Hispanic, then
How does that work with jury selection there? Because like we would attack that head on. We're in California. How does it work with jury selection and trials and admissibility of somebody's ethnicity or national origin?
As far as the admissibility of their ethnicity or national origin, that can come in, but it's really their status as an immigrant.
Wow.
So
That they can mention if they're illegal.
they used to be able to, but then I argued a case in front of the Indiana Supreme Court. I like to say I'm undefeated. I'm 1-0, and I walked away. Yeah. And I got a 5-0 decision in front of the Indiana Supreme Court. They were trying to bring in the guy's immigration status, And what they were doing, this is crazy. They were trying to backdoor it by saying that you're making a claim for future lost wages, right?
Oh, that's the same we did, yeah.
Yes, and because of that, you're technically not entitled to work legally in the United States.
So you have to tie it back to where you.
So you have to go back to Mexico. This guy was from Mexico. Whatever a construction worker, this guy's a construction worker, heard on a site, whatever a construction worker in Mexico would make. Well, it's just a way of backdooring in their immigration status. So me and my buddy Tim Devereaux fought that case, and I was working with Indiana Trial Lawyers Association as amicus counsel. Lost in front of the Court of Appeals, and then took it in front of the Supreme Court, and we got a 5-0 opinion. They even cited the Magna Carta in the opinion. Yeah, the fucking Magna Carta. Like
1600s. I cite the Magna Carta every single closing argument that I do.
Yeah.
No, but I mean that's what they tie this. Used to be in California where they would tie it to the wages that you.
Yes, the wage
so we would
claim.
just waive the wages and not keep it out. We changed the law to be able that you can't break it up whatsoever.
Yeah, California changed that like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they can't.
But it was a
bring
lot of lobbying, a lot of like doing what you did and getting
Yeah.
up in front of the courts, talk about it, be brave enough to say, I'll say no in court, and
Yeah.
challenge this as we go up.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about
there
it.
was, so they ran an article in the Indy Star paper, and my wife got scared because people comment all the time. And I gave them a comment, and I've just always been a firm believer in you can't treat people differently because of something they can't change about themselves, about who they are, And I said something along those lines to the paper, and there was multiple comments about someone should shoot that illegal and then shoot his fucking lawyer too.
Wow.
Yeah, and my wife she was reading them, and she's fucking terrified, And I'm like, these.
Yeah, but you're a big fucking dude. Sommelier. Clean up. So you're a big dude. So like, are we 6'4"? How big
Yeah,
are you?
6'4", 250, dude.
Whew.
Yeah.
6'4", 250.
He looks a little bit like Kurt Warner.
Oh, I can
So-
see this in him.
He has a Kurt Warner look. Kurt Warner's also a big guy.
He also has a
Yes.
huge man crush on Kurt Warner.
Well, I have met
Yeah.
him several times, and yes, I do have a man crush on him. But I've met him a bunch of times, and you're a big dude like Kurt Warner.
Yeah, and he's got a great story too.
Oh, he's the best.
bagging groceries to throw in TD. So now,
All right.
next to
So-
the.
Next, you'll see these last two are only half full. Alex, I know you're a big whiskey fan, so I brought these from my house.
Thank you.
So, hope you enjoy. This is Weller Full Proof. It's a wheated bourbon. This is from Buffalo Trace. Enjoy. And then Mara, I brought you the mellow corn.
Oh,
'cause
for my.
I could tell you're eyeing it.
Yes. Thank you.
want a little
Thank
more
you.
there.
Here we go.
We'll save this here in my personal stash.
So I chose the foolproof for you because what you were just talking about, you have to be bulletproof or foolproof in our profession. I've had many conversations with my wife about the same type of threats. And, I joked about you being a big dude, but it's like 6'4", 250, nobody wants to fuck with you if they see you in person, but they just hear stories and people get,
Yeah, on the internet, they're 6'4",
they're tough.
250.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, everybody's tough online. Tough in person's another story.
yeah.
Oh, God. This is also certainly top 10, likely top 5 for me, the Weller Foolproof. This is in my house every day of the week. I will drink it every day of the week. You've had this one, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Not this. I've had the Weller Red,
Oh, yeah.
Weller Green Label. But,
So the
but
107,
not
the
this.
Weller Red is my dad's go-to one, but this is like, if I had to buy a barrel, this would be the barrel I would buy. You can't do it though.
This one reminds me of our friend Randy Wilson. This is a Randy Wilson type of.
Oh, God, so good. Randy
really
Wilson.
good.
This is really good.
Very smooth.
So Randy Wilson, who's a expert witness friend of ours, he lives down the street from me. He has the biggest, best whiskey collection I've ever seen. He has this and a store pick at his house all the time. By the way, this is 57% alcohol.
Yeah.
You won't
Holy.
taste it. Foolproof. But
I'm
well,
gonna be fucked up later.
You will be. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go back to this seminar, dude.
So we were actually all here for a conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and we have a lot of hobnobbing to
It's
do.
funny, Bob and I were at a wedding recently in Napa, California. Beautiful. Fucking Napa's beautiful. And, Napa's a wine,
Oh, yeah,
wine,
yeah.
the wine region, one of the best famous in the world. And I ended up at some restaurant in Napa, and in the middle of the day, and I went in the bar. The bar was closed because I was there for lunch. I looked in the bar and I was like, whoa, this is nuts. They had the craziest bourbon selection in Napa at this place.
A wine
I took
bar?
I took a picture
Yes.
of it, and I sent it to
me.
Bob, and Bob's like, where are you? I said, I'm in some fucking Chinese restaurant. It was a
Vietnamese. The
a
slanted
Vietnamese
door.
restaurant
Slanted
called
door.
the Slanted Door.
Yeah.
Vietnamese restaurant in Napa that had the craziest bourbon selection I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And Bob came in the next day. I was there a day before him, and then we went to the Slanted Door when the bar was open, and we ended up becoming friends with the guy who runs the bar, and
Yeah.
he's a gigantic bourbon fanatic, and he decided he was going to make that place the bourbon destination for all the people who go to Napa who don't drink fucking wine. Bob
Right.
doesn't drink wine. Napa was
I don't
lost
drink
on
wine either.
Bob.
Can't do it.
I was like, Napa was lost on him. We were there like 4 days for this big destination wedding.
Maro has a favorite wine.
What rosé is?
Why did you dismiss my case in summary judgment? Wah! No. Full of shit. No, we went there and it was like, Mara was like, you have to come to this bar. And we were at this wedding. It was like, a trial lawyer wedding. And there was a lot of famous trial lawyers that were there. And one guy who will remain nameless was like, I want to go with you guys on this adventure.
Yeah, he's like, because me and Bob were like, I'm taking Bob to this bourbon place in Napa.
Yeah.
And this
Because we
dude-
have to do research for tax purposes.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, we
yeah,
were there,
right,
we shot a
right.
couple videos for the show, and then we wrote off the whole fucking trip.
Yeah.
So,
my God.
Why'd you give away the secret, dude? It was a wink. I gave a wink. You're telling the whole story.
okay, no, we didn't write it.
Yeah.
We did.
Dude, you're full of stories, man.
Yeah.
You got to write a memoir.
So
or some
so
shit.
this
Oh, if you
guy,
want,
This
he's
fucking
going to
guy.
write what's your coffee book called you want to write?
my book's called Nonsense Stories of a Street Lawyer. That's the title. But so this guy who's a big trial lawyer who's known to not be
yeah.
a drinker,
Yeah.
does not drink. He's like, I want to go with you guys. I like Pappy Van Winkle. I'm like, fuck, I didn't even think you ever drank. He's like, oh, I fucking drink. So he came with us. And he drank some Pappy Van Winkle.
We had some of the best pours you could ever have before this wedding.
Yeah, we
It
were
was-
drinking Pappy Van Winkle and stuff. It
Oh,
was
that's
amazing.
the good stuff.
But he
right
wanted.
there.
He's
Yeah,
like, if I'm
find
going to
it.
drink, I want to like you guys pick us the 3 best bottles. We did the IW Harper 15. It was
Yeah,
up there.
beautiful.
We did a Pappy because he wanted to try it. And what was the other one? We did another one that was hard to find.
Oh, it
one.
was a Sonoma Rabbit Rye, or what was that one called?
Like local.
Yeah, like a
something
local
It was
Sonoma
excellent.
one.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're ever in Napa, man, you got to go to the Slanted Door. It's an amazing selection of
I was blown
How,
away.
how far is that from LA?
a flight. The flight's like an hour.
Yeah.
It's like 350 miles.
Okay,
If you
yeah.
drove, it's about an hour flight. It's
Okay.
real close.
You know, I've never been out to California.
we're going to see you in Mardi
Yes,
Gras in
you
San
are gonna see
Diego.
me there
You're
in
going to have an
Mardi Gras.
experience.
Well, you're going to
because-
be so your first experience is going to be San Diego in October.
Yeah.
Like the most perfect
Best.
weather there is.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, damn, now I know why people live in California.
Right.
It's going to be like
Right. So
72
we had a
degrees.
new management team take control of like logistics for the conference, and
That's
they were
good.
like, "What if it rains?" We put up tents like it's not going to rain. They're like, "But we have to have a contingency plan." I'm like,
Shit, man. If it happens,
It's not gonna
the
rain.
4 days a year it rains, it happens,
Yeah.
then fuck, you're fucked.
"Yeah,
But
then
yeah.
people get electrocuted."
Just like that
Put
old
up
song,
just-
"It Never Rains in
Right.
Southern California." Remember that
Yeah.
song? Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it just doesn't rain, man.
Is it hurricane season there? Because I know
No,
in
we don't
Florida
got-
it's
we don't
hurricane
got
season in
nothing.
October.
There's no hurricane. All we have in California is fires and earthquakes. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't have hurricanes, tornadoes,
Yeah.
floods, any of that shit. We have
Wow.
wildfires and we have earthquakes, but it's been a little quiet on the earthquake front.
We had one
lately.
last week, dude.
I mean, but small ones, but a
It's like
big one.
5.1.
It's been a while since we had a real big
real
earthquake,
shaker.
a real one.
It's like a little
Oh,
roller
I
coaster.
wouldn't know what to do, man. The whole fucking
So last
ground
week,
starts
actually,
shaking. Like,
so Alex,
You don't knock your
whiskey
socks off.
sommelier.
If
we
you've
know
never
the
been
pour.
in an earthquake, it'll really knock your socks
No,
off.
so last week,
really knock. You're like, what?
I'm literally brushing my teeth with my 4-year-old, and we start shaking, and I'm just brushing her teeth. My wife comes running in, the kids come around, and she's like, "What are you doing? You're just brushing your teeth." I'm like, "But yeah, we're just having fun. Like, what are you guys gonna do?"
It'd be like this. It'd be like, and then like this table would like lift up and then like drop. It'll not. I mean, I grew up in LA. I've been
you're gonna
through
do this?
50 earthquakes now. It
Like
doesn't
bad
even-
ones,
it
too.
does-
I
yeah,
mean, if
bad
you
ones.
grew
Doesn't
up
even
there.
bat
Oh,
an
no.
eye. I was in the 1992
no.
Northwich
All right.
Creek.
I
that
see
was,
what's
like,
about to happen.
Dropped
This
half
is
the city.
this
Oh,
is
no.
impromptu. I had 4 bottles. I guess that's not enough for you guys. So
Oh, no.
this is 131 proof.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
no.
Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
Did you say 131?
But trust me, it's good.
Bob, take it.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you only have to divide that by half, you know.
Bob, take it easy on this one. I'm gonna pour these, but Bob will pour like half a glass, and then he'll get me start talking. Then I'll really start telling stories.
When
That's
Mara,
what-
when Mara and I travel and we drink, it's like I have a very heavy hand, and he's like, "What are you doing to me?"
Yeah, we play Uno till like 4 in the morning. It's pretty fun.
I've taken depositions of his experts. When we were in Spain, we were, I mean, how many hours ahead? We were drinking all day, and I would just take it as expert
Yeah, I was like,
deposition.
Bob, you want to take this expert dep? He's like, yeah, fuck, I'll take it. And Bob shit on this expert.
So you're doing that from
I love
Spain?
it. Yes.
Yeah, on Zoom.
You do love expert depots. don't
Expert
you?
depos.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching this show, I will take an expert deposition on any spine, radiology, anything you want for a bottle of Boss Hog. Tap me in. I will do it.
Boom.
Live it.
There you go.
Yeah, and
I love it.
Bob did. I was gonna take the dep on myself. I was prepping for it all day. Bob was like, I'll do it. I was like, fuck, okay. So I just sat in the background and we were drinking during the
Right.
depot. And with neuropsych.
Yeah.
And truly, Bob's like the whisperer, man, because he got this guy to agree. So many concessions he got on this guy. I settled the case like 2 days later.
Yeah.
Bob really got this, and Bob didn't know shit about the case.
Yeah.
Well, I studied for like
5
30 minutes.
Yeah, he got a little. I gave him just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then he really got this expert to agree with a lot of his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I love the science of medicine and all the shit that we do
Yeah.
as lawyers, and I could get into it and understand it and dumb it down
Oh, yeah.
enough to like ask a question a juror would understand, get the answer you want, get out. Get
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
out. By the way, this smells hot. Where is the whiskey sommelier? Travis,
Cheers.
fucking Arizona attorney. I can smell the 130 from here.
And we're drinking all this stuff neat too, so we're drinking it right out of the bottle.
You know, an expert
Actually, that's
depo-
not bad. For
That's
that
good.
proof, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I know a lot of people who love this barrel select.
That expert depot will get your case settled.
So
I mean, it'll get your case resolved. If you do a good expert depot, you'll get a good
So,
offer.
so
eventually.
most cases, that's where you're going to get max value.
Yeah.
Expert
Yeah.
witness on. Same in Indiana.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same everywhere. You know, I
But
if
a
you
lot of
can-
people don't know that.
No,
They don't know that.
no.
So I know, like, we direct traffic our cases now in Arizona. To Alex, give you first look there because you'll get a premium on the case because people know you have that.
In Arizona, you said?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Did I say Arizona?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
been
you've
way
had
too many
bottles,
episodes.
you know.
Jesus Christ. I almost said Tennessee because that was a Tennessee liquor, but I corrected myself to Arizona. But you're the hammer at the end, so that you get max value, and insurance companies know that.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, I mean,
weird
we
laws
litigate.
like caps or anything in there?
There's cap. In Indiana, there's caps. Yeah, I mean, we have caps, but I mean, we're litigating 60-70% of our cases.
Is there a special damage or the general damage cap?
There is a cap for the adult. If you're unmarried without any dependents, you're capped at $300,000 for wrongful death.
What?
Isn't that fucking crazy?
For wrongful death,
Yeah,
300 grand?
Yeah. Now I heard you guys talk about med mal caps. Our caps are higher. We got 1.2 million for a med mal case if it's a qualified provider. So they have to register with the Indiana Department of Insurance as a qualified healthcare provider. But we do a lot of nursing home cases. We've started doing a lot of those, and a lot of those nursing homes aren't qualified. And so we just file it as a general, negligence case. So we're not capped in those.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
And we've been doing a lot of civil rights cases too, which are interesting. You get a lot of motions practice in those cases, but their average case value is a lot higher than, car crash case. I mean, the state minimum policy limits in Indiana are 25 grand.
Ours are 15 in California.
15 grand in a
They're
place
up
like
again next
California.
year. You would think we were
Jesus.
tied for last with Florida on that one until recently.
Oh my
And
God.
January 1st goes up to 2550.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in like 2028 it goes up to 3060 or no, 5100.
Do people have to waive uninsured, underinsured coverage? Because
They
in
do.
Indiana, they have to
They
sign
have
a
to
waiver.
sign. But
Yeah.
nobody knows, man. And that's
No.
the best up part is nobody knows.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, every UIM case I get, if they're like, there's no coverage, they waived it, I'm like, okay, well, show it to me. Show me the signed waiver. And I've had a few, where they just can't produce
can't
the signed
produce
waiver.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
I've had a bunch of those where they can't.
You seem like you love this shit.
Oh my God. This is, I tell people, it's not even a career, it's a calling. Like I'm pulled to it like gravity, dude, Like I love doing what I do.
Do
Put
you
me in
feel
a
like the
case.
Hispanic community is underrepresented in Indiana?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got 2 friends that I know that are native Spanish speakers that exclusively do this work. 2 people that do PI work that are native Spanish speakers. Everyone else, they use a paralegal here and there. They use, an assistant or something.
A notario.
And I think that there's something to be said about a Spanish-speaking lawyer that can communicate directly with the client. And I was probably the first one to do it exclusively, in the state of Indiana. And the population there continues to grow every day. We've got tons of manufacturers. There's Wabash Trailer Factory, Purdue plant, the Purdue plant.
The
Did
chicken
you know?
plant?
Yeah. Did you know that food processing is one of the most dangerous industries to work in?
Oh, yeah.
I learned all this shit when I was arguing that Supreme Court case.
I just hear Barrow say he's got to choke the chicken. I don't know what that means.
Well, that's not exactly food processing, but that's my more
Some other kind of process.
more of a personal cross I have to bear.
No, but I mean, I don't hear these stories from the from Indiana there.
I have
Yeah.
a good Indiana story. I don't know. Were you at that bachelor party for Dylan?
I was not.
Nordic?
I was not. But my Indiana story is, I had left from D.C. I moved cross country the first time in my life when I went to law school out in California,
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
Bob really he really went to a shitty law school. He went to fucking Malibu.
I did go to Malibu. I went
Bob
to
went
D.C.
to-
undergrad,
Bob went to-
Malibu.
You went to law school with one of my buddies. He passed away recently. Nick McGinness.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, Nick passed
I
away.
love
dude.
Nick. Nick was one of the
one
best
of the
humans
best
ever.
fucking trial lawyers I've ever met.
Nick
I
is-
trained with him.
I didn't
Bob
know.
went
I
to
did
law
not know
school in
that.
Malibu.
Yeah,
with
he passed
Pepperdine.
away.
Nick McGinness
Yeah.
was he was
Huge,
bigger than
man.
you.
He was bigger
6'8",
than- yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
Just a brain. He was the person that was the smartest person in the room every single time.
Every time, dude.
But Nick had his
fucking
vices, and
Yep.
I mean, God, it makes me a little emotional because I love Nick.
Yeah, yeah, he passed away. So
did not
he
know you
went.
knew
He
him.
went to high school with my. He loved my wife, and he's huge. And my wife, if you ever met her, she's 5'1", 100 pounds. So I'm this big guy, and she's like this tiny person. And he went to high school with my wife's older brother at Bishop Chatard High School in Indianapolis. And I remember I joined the PD agency, and I used to follow Nick around everywhere. And he was one of the best trial lawyers. He had such a
Dude.
commanding presence in the courtroom, and he had win after win after win. Yeah.
He was a
went to
guy that
Pepperdine,
you would meet him and be like, how does this guy? He would look like. I mean, he would wear
Looked like
shirts
Penn,
like
Penn from
Penn and
Penn
Teller. He
and
looked like
Teller.
Penn from
Yeah.
Penn Teller.
Yeah.
He would just come in and just talk and be like, holy shit, you're the smartest guy in the room.
Yes, dude. Wow.
In
Yeah.
law school, he was like that too. It was just it was a little intimidating. fuck, I did not know you knew him.
Oh yeah, dude, I've known him for years, man. And we had a funny story. Nick had a case criminal case, because we were public defenders together, and the defense was the guy was charged with public indecency. There was a cop in a urinal, and he was in another urinal next to him, and the cop arrested him because he thought the guy was jacking off into a urinal. Yeah.
Was just shaking a little
Wait
bit.
a second, that's illegal? I'm glad this cop's never been in the bathroom with me.
And they brought in an expert to say
By the way,
this guy was a big
my
guy.
tongue went
Yeah.
numb.
Oh, after that?
Yeah, after a couple of this, I went
Right.
I mean, are you sure he wasn't just shaking it real hard?
Well, that's what it was. He had
You know?
the expert
My dad used to say, if you
testified.
shake it more than
You,
three
you have an
times,
expert.
Then- yeah,
if you
they
shake
had
it
an
more than
expert.
3 times, you're playing with it.
They
is
had
what
an
I say.
expert saying he had buried penis syndrome. And it takes him a while to find it. So it looked like he was jacking off, but he was really trying to find his penis.
Wow,
Yes.
he's a real turtle.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking, dun dun dun
He's a
yeah.
real turtle.
dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun.
And I mean,
I've
it was great, dude.
I've seen people that have
You've had experiences like
bird
it.
in its nest kind of look.
Yes.
Yes, that's horrible. It's fucking traumatic.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I went to a bachelor party in Louisville, and I was like, dude, Louisville is cool, but there's no vices here except bourbon. I mean, where's the strip clubs? Where's the fucking casino? And they're like, if you go right across the Ohio River, because Louisville's right
Indiana.
on the fucking Ohio River, go right across the river, there's a shitty riverboat casino.
Oh, yeah.
And I was with my buddy, and I was like, let's go to this casino. He's like, we don't have any money. I was like, dude, I got like $300. Let's go. Fuck, we're going to go, right? But usually if I go to Vegas, whatever, I have 10 grand on me or something, I'm ready to gamble. Because, you got to be able to get down and then make a comeback. You got to have enough money to go up
Right.
and down. But I had like $300. It was late. It's like, let's go. So we go across the fucking, this bridge, go to this shitty riverboat casino. I walk in
In
there.
New Albany. Was it
Whatever-
Caesars?
What Caesars?
Yeah.
Right
Caesars,
across
Indiana.
Right across
Yeah.
from Louisville. Like you could
Oh,
see
yeah.
it from downtown Louisville. We go in there. I walk in. The place is a dump, a real dump.
Everyone's ripping fucking heaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's smoking
On
exactly,
oxygen.
dude.
Everybody's smoking darts, and it's just. So I go in there, and it's like, okay. So I go into this casino. It's like, I find this Wheel of Fortune. I love Wheel of Fortune.
He always does play Wheel of
I
Fortune.
love Wheel of Fortune.
This is the third Wheel of Fortune reference we've had on the show, by the way. At
Wheel
least.
of Fortune. I go in to
At
play Wheel
least.
of Fortune. I have $300. I put $100 in the machine. I lose it. I put the other 100 in. I lose it. I'm down to my last 100. I put my $100 in there. Fucking hit the machine. Bang, bang, bang. I get 3 Wheel of Fortunes. I hit the fucking progressive jackpot. 15 grand.
No.
Yes. And I was like, that's fucking amazing. And I'm like thinking, man, this place is so shitty. They're going to rob me on the way out. I was like scared for my life. So they paid me the 15 grand. They gave it to me in a brown bag. And I jumped in a cab. I was like, I'm out of here. So I went straight back to Louisville because I felt safer over there with the money.
Yeah.
I didn't stick around nothing. So I went home with all the money, which is rare, but usually I lose it back for sure. you
Right.
know? But I didn't lose a dime of
Yeah.
it back. But so Indiana has the casinos.
Yeah, they do. They're all riverboats too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few
Louisville.
of them now. They've got some kind of freestanding. They're not required.
Morrow,
to be
how was the
riverboats.
Ohio River formed?
Well, I know it's one of the 3 rivers from Pittsburgh, from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it's Allegheny,
Yes?
the Ohio.
The Ohio's the one that's formed. What's the other river?
What's
It's the
it?
harder one.
Allegheny. Oh man, I'm usually good at this kind of.
But
like
you've had
Jeopardy
18
shit.
drinks
Yeah,
today.
I'm usually
right.
good at this Jeopardy shit.
Yeah.
But it's one of the 3. It's one of the 3 rivers,
Monongahela.
the Monongahela, yes. And then when they join, it becomes the Ohio.
That's correct. Man, that's good.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
I'm good. I like to read, history books and shit. So yeah.
Well, he does the scratch and sniff version, but it's okay.
Scratches.
So we're going to pull out all the bottles to give Alex Limontes his Bourbon of Proof. Where's our sommelier? Can you help us organize these, please, sir? So Travis Davis, who's the biggest brain in Arizona, he runs the law and motion department.
Yeah, Travis is like what I like to call like a smart guy lawyer, Guys like me, I'm more of a street lawyer. Travis is the kind of guy that like can write it.
This
he
is the
can
most
write a
bourbon. This is the
brief
most
and shit.
bourbon or whiskey we've had on the show for
A while.
a long time.
That's what happens when you bring me
good.
on.
We asked Travis to bring the whiskey in Arizona because we're filming here, and he brought a lot of private stash stuff. You cannot pick your own.
No.
Elimination.
I'm not going to.
Elimination.
I'm not going to. I've got to go with the Weller.
God, yes.
Yeah, with the
Weller
full proof.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Yes.
I've also been to that distillery out in the boonies in Kentucky with Bob. What's it called? Stitzweller?
Stinson Weller, but the Buffalo Trace has
Yeah.
their all of those ones. And it's,
Lexington, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's well, yeah.
no, it's out. It's
Trace.
way out.
It's like an
hour
hour
and a half out.
outside
Yeah.
of the town.
Okay.
Beautiful country out there.
Oh,
Where it's
yeah.
at.
Yeah, Rolling Hills.
With the black, what's it? The black fungus. What's this shit that eating all the trees and shit out there?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You ever seen this? There's like a black mold that goes over all the distilleries. So they say that's the way that they would sniff out all the illegal places when it was outlawed. Is the black mold would like find its way.
Oh my God.
So if you go to these old distilleries, you can see all this black like trace lines all
Yeah.
the way to the whiskey.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
crazy.
That's wild.
Things we learn on the trail. But yeah, Alex, so Weller Full Proof. We're going to give you one more pour of your favorite and we'll clear the
Absolutely.
table. Because
take
the
it.
last couple minutes are yours because we want to hear a little bit more about. This is your closing argument. What are you passionate about, my friend? We're
What
gonna
am
pull all
I
these up.
passionate about?
No, this is your pour. Mar, let's get this burn my tongue shit off the table.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, as far as what I'm passionate about, I love the people that I work with, you know, and especially the Hispanic population in Indiana. They're so underrepresented, and there's so many people that, frankly, take advantage of them. Even some other Hispanic lawyers, you know, that I know. And so, you know, trying to help as many people as I possibly can, that's really the goal, you know, whether it's a $1,000 case or $1 million case, I don't give a shit, you know, just help as many people as you possibly can. And that frankly helps me sleep at night, you know, and it's something I can be proud of when I go home and, you know, I've got 4 kids, man, you know, 4 little ones. So being able to talk
You're like
to my
11, 8, 5, and 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have I have a 7, 4, and 1. Our kids are the same,
Yeah.
but 11. He's got 4.
4
Can
of
you
them.
imagine
Yeah.
4?
But you have boys. See,
No,
boys
I-
are
I-
fucking
no,
animals.
No, I have 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah. Well, you have a
five-year-old.
boy. 1 boy is more than enough. Boys are fucking animals, man.
I got 3 girls.
They
I'm
really
good.
are.
Yeah, my son
They
this
are.
morning, I was telling him, I said, you know, he was beating up on his 4-year-old sister. My
Yeah.
boy's almost 6. I said, listen, man, the next time I see you do that to her, I'm going to do the same shit to you. Because you have to understand, she is a little, and I have a 4 that looks like she's 2. She have a
Yeah,
little
she
teeny
does. She's tiny.
mouse.
Yeah.
I have a mouse. You wouldn't believe she's my daughter.
Yeah.
She's like 4.5 and she weighs like 25 pounds. She's just this big. And my 5-year-old boy is an animal,
Yeah.
man. And I told him, I said, I see you do that again, I'm going to do it too. And then we'll
Yeah.
see how fucking funny it is.
Oh yeah.
This is
You
why
have
like
a 5-year-old boy.
Alex is on our schedule, by the way. So like I can text you at like 4 a.m. our time. He's up
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's
in bed
already-
early because
Yeah.
we're the same. Like
Oh,
we're-
yeah.
Me and Bob, it's like, you know, I always text we have one friend of ours named Nick, who's a night owl.
remain nameless after
Yes,
there.
he's a night owl. He goes to bed at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's like
Mm-hmm.
some weird night owl. And me and Bob are on the opposite schedule. So like whenever I'm in bed, like early, like for me early is like, you know, 7:45. Because I go to bed sometimes it's still daylight.
Yeah.
I like to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'll text a picture to Bob and to Nick. Oh man, what a day. I'm already in the sack. It's like 7:45.
He does.
I like to go to
Right.
bed at 7:45, man, if I can.
Oh my gosh.
And then I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like a farmer. But yeah, but nothing better than going to bed at 8 o'clock. It's the
I feel like
greatest
you're going to be a farmer for corn after this episode because you were so enamored
Yes.
with the corn
Yeah.
whiskey.
corn whiskey.
Yeah.
this is it.
Do the kids get in the bed with you?
No, my wife doesn't allow
Mine
it.
are. It's
So
fucking
we've
crazy.
had
My wife does not allow it.
they never get in our
That's
bed.
good,
But the
dude.
last night actually, my 7-year-old woke me up. She had a nightmare to go into her bed. I came back into mine, and my 4-year-old got up and she just wanted to cuddle Dad. So I go,
Can't say no to
I can't
that.
say no to her.
Can't
And
say
like,
no to
Poppy,
that.
I can't say no to. So we'll cuddle Poppy, and then it's like, get back to my bed. I look at my fucking, like, my phone's on the ground, I look up, and it's 4:30. I'm like, shit.
Yep.
I'm not going to go back to sleep. So go downstairs. I'm like trying to work out a little bit, and then the other kid comes downstairs. I'm like, all right.
There you
so
go.
we're done for the day.
Yeah, my wife's very strict. She doesn't let them come in our room or in our bed at all. They got to sleep in their beds. in their room. If they have a nightmare or whatever, I go in their room with them or whatever. But they don't come in our bed. My wife's very
But I can
strict
hear
on that.
footsteps. Like I can
can't-
hear
are
this,
you a
this,
light
this.
sleeper?
Dude, well, yeah.
Oh, I'm heavy.
Sometimes they.
I don't
My
even.
the one girl, she's very light on her feet, and I just feel this, and I wake up like, and I feel like she must be so scared. I'm like, get back in your bed. I'm walking back.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake my. I just don't want to wake up my wife. Like, let her sleep. If I hear them tiptoeing, I'm like, I see them right there. I was like, go,
Yeah.
I'll run with you. Man. So Alex, man, thank you for
Yeah,
coming on. This
thank
is,
you.
this is
So what's the name of your firm again?
Hearst Limontes. Yeah.
And so
out of
who's
Indiana.
Hearst? Who's
Hearst is my partner who is 87 years old. And, well, he's 86. He retired, sold me the firm, and then he unretired. Yeah. Called me up and said he wanted to start practicing law again. And sure enough, he's practicing law again. And he just settled a premises case for a lot of money and took a 5-hour Zoom depo and trying to get exhibits up on over Zoom. I thought it was fucking hilarious watching him do this shit.
Good for him,
86.
man.
Good for
God
him,
bless him.
And he was one of the first advertisers, great trial lawyer.
But
Well
with
known.
what Alex, if you're watching or listening to this show, if you are in Indiana, the regions around it, Kentucky, Ohio, wherever you are, reach out to him because he has a lot of knowledge on the community, the judges, the other lawyers. And it's a special thing because if you don't lean on your community in those areas, and like it's a big thing for Alex is now in Just HQ, and whenever people see him ping, it's a different mentality, right? To be able to see like a big dog trial lawyer in what they consider the Rust Belt.
Right.
To respond. We call it the Bourbon Belt, but that's just borrowing.
Yeah.
We got to change. You know what? Fuck insurance companies for trying to like pick what our names are. We're not
Right.
greedy trial lawyers. We're just the Bourbon Belt lawyers.
Bourbon Belt.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Alex
All
and the
right,
Bourbon
guys.
Belt lawyers. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Cheers.